On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review Treaty Oak Distilling Ghost Hill, Texas Bourbon Whiskey. Whew, it's a mouthful. Welcome back to the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today we have a very special episode of the Whiskey Tornado. We get to dedicate this episode to one of our Patreon members, Ben Bernthal. Ben sent this bottle of Treaty Oak Distilling Ghost Hill, Texas in for me as a birthday present, but also to review, so I'm super excited to do that today. We're also going to compare it against some other Texas distillery bottles that I have. One is Garrison Brothers Single Barrel, and a little bit varying away from bourbon, we're going to review Balcones Single Malt and kind of compare it to this. So here in the Whiskey Tornado, we generally score a bourbon. 3 points or higher is bar worthy, 4 is bunkersome. We're not going to do that today since we're doing a craft distillery. I don't think it's fair to a craft distillery to grade on the same rating scale as more established distilleries. So what I'm going to do with craft distilleries is just tell you whether I think it's promising or not. So let's get into this Treaty Oak Distilling Ghost Hill, Texas bourbon. I've heard good things. I've never had it, so I've got a glass poured here in the middle. After we taste this, we're going to compare it to two other Texas distillery bottles I have. One is a Garrison Brothers Single Barrel, and the other is a Balcones Single Malt. The Single Malt's not going to taste anything like these two, but these two should be, pretty similar. Both are 2 years old or around there. The Garrison Brothers is only 94 proof, whereas this is a cask strength bourbon, and it is 62.5% or 125 proof. All right, guys, let's get into the nose on this. Again, Ben, cheers. This is to you. The nose, I'm getting nice dense caramel. There's, you can tell it's going to be really sweet. There's definitely corn. There's some youth there on the nose. That like fresh cut wood that I often get in craft is there. A really nice note though I'm picking up on the nose, it'll be awesome if it's on the taste, is chocolate. I'm getting a really nice like milk chocolate note on there. Yeah, it's the nose is really nice. Again, I don't want to rate this just because I don't think it's fair to a craft distillery to rate it against some of those distilleries that are more established, but we're going to compare it to some other Texas distilleries here in a minute. Again, cheers, Ben. Thanks for the bottle. Wow, the mouth is really oily, creamy for it being that age. There is some of those youthful craft notes. It's not crazy off-putting though. Whoa, the heat and the finish it's there. Again, this is a cask strength single barrel, so we're at 125 proof. But it's not too bad for that proof. That's kind of surprising. It's not like overly hot, but the heat is there. It throws you around the room a little bit. What I love about this, the sweetness on it. It is so sweet, almost like white dog sweet. And I think I was saying that I could smell the sweetness on the nose. But yeah, it's like there's like a white dog kind of sweetness there. Almost like the distillate hasn't had enough time in the barrel to really soak up those vanillas and caramels. And right now it just tastes a little youthful, a little crafty. But again, I'm not going to rate this on our normal grading scale. I would say if I had to rate this based on craft bourbons or whiskeys that I've had, it's very promising. It shows a lot of promise. It's fine for a craft whiskey. Yeah, caramels. There is some caramel there. Some cinnamon, definitely cinnamon. That fresh cut wood, that corn is there. I don't know that I'm picking up that chocolate note that I got on the nose, but the sweetness and the oiliness of it is really what stands out to me about this. Now, if they can figure out a way to not age this too fast in Texas and really get those caramel notes and vanilla notes out of the barrel without it being too woody and over oaked, I think they're definitely onto something. But yeah, this is a great bottle, Ben. Thank you for sending it to me. I'll treasure it because it's the first bottle that the Whiskey Tornado has received to review. So thank you so much, man. Let's compare it to Garrison Brothers. Now this is a bottle I found in Georgia during COVID. The corn was harvested in 2011. It was distilled and barreled in 2012. This is bottle 1 of 58, and it was signed by the distiller. So let's smell this and compare it. Now this on the nose, people go crazy over Garrison Brothers, and admittedly, I've only had this bottle, and I think it's an older bottle, so this may have been some of their newer stuff. But I'll tell you right now on the nose, I'm not crazy about this. It is putty. It smells like putty, corn, craft note. Let's go in for the taste. It's got some good sweetness, but right now it's just cinnamon and wood. That's what this bottle tastes like, cinnamon and wood. You know, if I had to pick one over the other, this Treaty Oak is better. It's thicker, it's more viscous, it's more promising, and that it's sweeter. And it's a little bit more complex than the Garrison Brothers. Again, this is a single barrel, so you know I could have just got a really bad barrel. It was on the shelf for a long time after all. So let's go to Balcones. This is a single malt. This single malt is 2 years old, and this was an Illinois store pick, a Benny's store pick, which is kind of like a Total Wine here. Now this is fabulous. This has 0 craft notes to it. Raisins, dark fruits like plums and apricots. There's a sweet element that honey. It's honey. That's what that is. Honey. And it's strong honey now that I know what it is. Almost like Honey Nut Cheerios. This is beautiful. All right, cheers, guys. Yeah, that is raisins drizzled with honey. Super mouthfeel. This one is 61.2%, so pretty close to the proof on this. Pretty close to the same age. There are no youthful notes on this. I don't get any craft. I don't know how Balcones does it, but they are a phenomenal distillery, putting out some great stuff. I don't know what their secret is, but I think a lot of these other Texas distilleries hopefully can learn from them. But this is really a promising bottle, I think. I don't think it's fair to really rate it. I don't know. I don't know how old Treaty Oak is, but I'm guessing Balcones is an older distillery, so they've had a little more practice. But this shows lots of promise. The sweetness on it is crazy. Yeah, it's almost like it's so sweet. It's almost like agave nectar. If you guys have ever had agave nectar instead of like syrup, that's almost what that is. That's pretty dead on, I think. But yeah, I'd love to see what this turns into in like 4 to 6 years and see if they can avoid over oaking it in that Texas heat. And yeah, I need to have some more bottles of Garrison Brothers just to see if this is just a bad bottle, because it's just cinnamon and oak. It's not anything spectacular, and people talk about Garrison Brothers way more than Treaty Oak, at least where I'm from. So it's super exciting to see Texas doing their own thing, distilling their own distillate, getting into the whiskey game and really making waves. I love Texas whiskey. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's fun to branch out and try these things. You can definitely tell it's a little bit different. They have their own footprint. It's a little unique. They have their own flavor profile in Texas, and I'm really excited to see what's to come. I know Balcones is knocking it out of the park, and they're going to continue to, but we'll see how these other distilleries do. But my official review on Treaty Oak Distilling Ghost Hill Texas Bourbon Whiskey is that it's very promising, a little youthful right now, but I think they're going to do good things. All right, again, thanks Ben so much for the bottle. Cheers, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.